Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. It's good to see you for our third live stream. We're doing well. So we've covered quite a lot so far, but today we have even more to cover. So strap your seatbelts on. Please say hello in the comments so I can greet you. And let's see who we've got here. I should be able to add you to the broadcast. Who's this? This is Yusuf. Hello Yusuf, how you doing? Nice to see you. We've got, who else have we got there? We've got Sergen. Hi, Sergen. How you doing? I'd forgotten you were a Liverpool fan. Never mind. Who have we got here? Oh, who was this last time? Fabulous name, Paul. God, I wish that was my name. I've forgotten who this is. Welcome. Great to see you. Aditya, hello. How you doing? Nice to see you. We've got Ash. Hello. How are we doing? I think that is Hash Brown. How are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, we've got you there. At a gym. Blimey. That's something to compete with there. We've got Jumbo Lizard. Good to see you. I hope all is well. Hasham, good man. Oh, we've got Bogdan as well. Hi, Bogdan. How you doing? Great to have you on board. Hash Brown, I'm glad all is good. We've got Conso Bonso. Hola to you as well. That is the limit of my Spanish, though. I've got gambas, which is prawns, so I'd never go hungry, but I think, frankly, it's a bit of a poor show. All right, so listen, guys, well done for being here. Who have we got? Oh, we've got, hello, Pixelator. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, okay, so shall we crack on? We've got a lot to get through today. Ashadi, hello, how are you? Nice to see you. Hi. It's a bit easier doing it from home, isn't it? Because you can just turn me down and you can chat and you can ignore me if you want to. 50 kilos bench press. I think I'd need help from a paramedic if I tried that. But hey, well done to you. Hi Flynn, how you doing? Hope all is well. Hi Matthew, how are you? Great, you're all here, guys. Right, I'll pick up some introduction as we go along, but let's crack on with this. So primary storage is the name of the game, primary and secondary storage. As you know, I'm doing two topics here at one go. So we have to try and get through this. 2 minutes gone on introducing people. So let's whiz through this. Rewinding from the last episode, another fun game of Guess the Question. So this was the answer. And we had parallel processing can take place. Dual core is 2 processors. Excuse me, which means that each processor can run a different part of the program at the same time, which enables multitasking. Some processes can't be split between 2 processors. And the reason I do these is that they sneakily tell you the wording that you need to answer pretty much any of these sorts of questions. Has anyone got any grand ideas on what this question was? We did have it last week. It was the trickiest bit of last week's work, I think. What about some processes can't be split between 2 processors? And generally, we talked about 2 ways that can't happen. One, because the software isn't designed, and one more. So have we got any ideas as to what this question was? Have a stab in the dark, someone. Tell me, what do you reckon? What was this one all about? And knowing the exam board, that have picked on some random name like, I don't know, Bill. Bill's got to buy a new computer. Oh, Aditya, what does the dual core do? I like it, that's a decent stab. And of course, this is the dual core question, isn't it? And of course, you won't guess the exact question. But this is, what they put in this was the question they got, I think 3 or 4 years ago. Explain why having a dual core processor might improve the performance of a computer. Did you miss the last one? Well, don't forget the live streams. I think I've sent you the link for 1, 2, and 3. And the nice thing is you can dip in and pick out the bits where you're struggling, okay? I'm going to sit through the entire thing. So that was the question. It was a fabulous question, which everyone thoroughly enjoyed. Explain why having a dual core processor might improve the performance. So that's what they're looking for on that type of a question. So let's do a quick quiz time rewind. And I've picked this same question, which I'm going to do every week until at some point someone gets it right. Okay, this was the nastiest, most horrible bit of the registers, and I've been even more unkind because I've swapped them all around. So if you remember the order of the last time, this is a different order to previously. So we've got A, stores the data that's fetched from memory. We've got B, stores the address where data will be read. C stores the address of the next instruction to be run, and D stores the results of calculations. So can any of you intellectual heavyweights tell me which registers are we looking at? Which one's A, which one's B, which one's C, which one's D? Well, do you know, Emad, it's funny you say that because I think that some of the IT gang, there's a bit of a crossover with some of the topics. So for memory and for system threats, it's very similar. Is it C? All right, which one? What do you think C is? A is an accumulator that stores the data that's fetched from memory. Is it? Okay. We've got C is the MAR. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the answers here. We've got Hash Brown saying A is an accumulator. We've got Aditya saying, Hash Brown meant C. Yes, that is a better call. Right, let's put us out of our misery and see what these were. So listen, MDR, Memory Data Register, stores the data that's fetched from memory. Now listen, these are horrible. This is the nastiest part of the whole CPU, of anything they could ask you. This is the bit you've got to go away and learn. So narrow it down and try to get that learnt as best you can, okay? The program counter stores the address of the next instruction to be run, and the accumulator stores the result of the calculation. Now, a good starting point might be to work from this slide, and yeah, B was good. That was correct, Sergen. Now, let's have a look. We've got Bogdan's here, and he said A MDR, B MAR, and C ACC. Yeah, you got the counter, which is correct. That is good. We had Sergen who said B is MAR. And just chip away at these until you can, the accumulator storing the result is quite easy, okay? And when you've got the program counter, which stores the address of the next instruction, that one's quite easy. And then you're left with two. So listen, go away and learn those because you need to know them. And I reckon they will be in there. All right, so that was the recap, and I'm going to push on. We've had 7 minutes because there is quite a lot to get through today. So we're doing 1.2 today. We're doing most of 1.2 today, which is memory and storage, and then we're gonna crack on and do data next time. So this is the plan today. 1.2, 1.1 we did in the first two. This is the third one, and we're doing memory and storage. I've put this slide up again because this word characteristic keeps appearing in the syllabus because you need to describe stuff. And the stuff you'll be describing today is optical, magnetic, and solid state storage. I'm going to focus on that for a second. Optical are these discs that you can write to, like Blu-ray is optical media. And it's not really used anymore, but you used to get DVDs that were writable and rewritable. So you could write data to them and then you could write data to them again. But actually, the technology was let down by the fact that with the rewritable ones, it took forever to rewrite data to it. But the DVDs and the CDs lasted for ages, and that's optical media. You don't need to know this, but optical media works by putting little holes, little indentations in the disc, and that means where you've got data. And so a sort of light is reflected on the disc, and of course the light bounces back. It reflects differently if there are indentations, dents, if you like, bumps in the disc, and that's how it works. You've got magnetic, which is obviously either it's magnetized or it isn't, and you've got zeros and ones, magnetized or not, so that works quite well. And don't forget, with a hard drive, it's a spinning CD. It looks just like a CD. It's called a platter, and it's got a read-write head, which for you music aficionados is a bit like a stylus on a record player. So when you open something, it goes to the place where the file's saved, looks at the index, goes to the right place, and opens it up using the read-write head. Okay, so there we are. So and then you've got solid state. So solid state is the Gucci solution for storage because it's fast. And when we say it's fast, in the exam, it's got fast read-write speeds. Fast read-write speeds. Don't just say it's fast because you can't drive it. You can't throw it off a cliff. Well, you could. That's not the point. It's actually got fast read-write speeds. There's the other advantage that solid-state storage doesn't have any moving parts, which means it generates less heat, which means it needs less cooling, which means you don't need to run the fan for as long, which means you don't need to use as much electricity, which means you get longer battery life. So you've got all of that there. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. And this is 1.2.1. This is precisely what you need to do for this topic. Why do you need primary storage? And by the way, in the next one for secondary storage, why do you need secondary storage? So let's make sure we've got that story sorted out today. Difference between RAM and ROM, which I think most of you are aware of. The purpose of ROM and the purpose of RAM. Now, you've got this required bit. Oh dear, that sounds very painful. Got bitten by a bear. Reminds me of quite a funny story in the news day before yesterday of a woman, a tourist, who's probably best described as being, well, stupid, who didn't move away. This was in America somewhere, in a national park, when she was photographing a bear. And she got put in prison for 3 days, which I thought was very funny. Anyway, why computers have primary storage and the key characteristics of RAM and ROM. And then we're going to the volatile and non-volatile stuff there, okay? And the transfer of RAM between RAM and HDD with virtual memory. Okay, so that's what we need to look at today. Time check, 11 minutes gone. So the second part of this is why we need secondary storage. Remember, we were talking about primary a minute ago. Common types, which I've kind of covered. Optical, magnetic, and solid state. Need to know examples of those. So you've got Blu-ray, you've got your hard disk drive, and you've got your solid state flash drives, for example. Flash is the word to use, not thumb or pen drive. And then we'll look at the advantages and disadvantages. So there is quite a lot there, but I reckon that this is one of the easier topics. So let's jump into the 5-minute teach, which may or may not last 5 minutes. Okay, right, there's quite a lot on this slide. We'll first of all look at RAM. I want you to cast your minds back to the last assessment you did when all of you wrote, it contains data and it contains programs, but no one said in use. It's the ones you're using now. So when you're doing anything on your computer, you are using RAM. RAM holds the operating system when you're using it. It holds the data, it holds the program. So that in use is what gets you the marks there. Same as the OS being used. Because obviously secondary storage, your hard drive, it holds all this stuff too. But when it's used, it's loaded into RAM. And let's deal with this now. You need secondary storage because otherwise when you turn your computer off, RAM is volatile. So what you've got there just vanishes. It's gone. So that's why you need secondary storage to save stuff. And you need primary storage to be able to run programs and to use your operating system and to do everything. All right. Then we've got ROM, which is a chip which is near the I got distracted by the comments there. It was ROM. ROM is a chip which is located near the on the motherboard near the CPU, and it holds a couple of different things: the factory settings, the startup routines, what's called the bootstrap, and it's this rather old-fashioned saying that your parents would have heard of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. So that's getting the computer started, and then programs for embedded systems, which is the firmware for the different hardware that you've got on the on the computer. So for example, you might have a Samsung hard drive, you might have RAM that's made by Kingston or Lexar or whoever. So the firmware for that hardware is also stored in ROM. So ROM is non-volatile, which means that when you switch off the computer, it remains in memory. It doesn't require the computer to be powered up in order to use it. Okay. Then we come to the slightly trickier idea, which I think most of you got, was this virtual memory. So virtual memory comes into play when RAM is full or nearly full. And if RAM is full or nearly full, then the CPU uses a bit of your hard drive, secondary storage, as RAM. VRAM, virtual RAM it's called. And this is useful because it means that you can expand the amount of RAM that you have. But the problem is, it's actually much slower. It has a slower read-write speed than RAM, much slower. And also, it does something called, it trashes your hard drive. Because you're reading and writing to it so regularly, it's different from your hard drive where you save a program, you save a file, and then some hours later you might save another one. When you're using your hard drive as RAM, it's being constantly updated and written and rewritten. So it's really bad for your hard drive. It trashes it. Okay, so that is the virtual memory secondary storage used as virtual RAM. Yeah, bitten by a bear. That is a terrible way to go. Right, it's a truly scary story. Okay, So let's think this through. It's May. You're sat on a little desk. You've got a see-through pencil case. You've got a slight shake on. Your desk is wobbling. You've got your whole future ahead of you, and you're wondering what's going to happen. And they ask you a question about storage. Okay, we've got volatile and we've got non-volatile, and we know that RAM is our volatile, and that ROM's our non-volatile. Okay, so here's the statement: without secondary storage, all programs and data will be lost when the computer switched off. So if you want to save things permanently, you need secondary storage. Three types of secondary storage. We talked about magnetic, optical, and solid state. And those are the examples, okay? So magnetic, your hard disk drive. The M is magnetic tape. Magnetic tape has a very high capacity. It can hold terabytes and petabytes, magnetic tape. Well, terabytes, certainly. And many organizations still use tape to back up all of their files overnight. So it's not a fast process, but it would happen over 8 hours when the offices are shut. And then you've got the floppy disk. If you're a relic like me, you'll remember floppy disks, but they've not been around. The 3.5-inch floppy disk hasn't been around for years. Every computer had one. Optical, CD, DVD, and Blu-ray, and solid state. There you go. Hard disk drive, solid state drive, pen drive, flash drive. Those are the key words there. Okay, so that's what we're after. And those are the secondary storage devices that you need to be able to discuss. So you'll be talking about characteristics and advantages and disadvantages of these secondary storage devices. Where are we at? 14 minutes to go. We can do this. Okay. In the question that you did on this a few weeks ago, this was the one where you all shone. Capacity, speed, portability, durability, reliability, cost. As long as you know what they mean, and as long as you know how these characteristics apply to the different sorts of storage media we've talked about, you're in the money. And hopefully they'll do a big question on this, but there will definitely be something on it. So in terms of the cost, we've got solid state drives are really expensive, but speed, read-write speed, they're really, really fast. Portability, well, flash drives you can carry anywhere, which is brilliant. Whereas a hard disk drive is a bit larger and a bit harder to carry. And by the way, the durability there, from durer, which is to learn in French, the durability, your solid state drive is far more durable than your magnetic hard drive, because the magnetic hard drive has got more moving parts. If it's dropped, it doesn't like it very much. It might still work, but it might not. If you think about how many times you've dropped a flash drive and just and it carries on working, they are quite hard to break. Okay, so make sure that you've got your head around these different storage media and their characteristics. All right, so that is that part there. We're into quiz time, guys. We are into quiz time. So let's see who is the fastest on the imaginary buzzer. Here we go. Which of these is not a type of secondary storage? What do we think? Which of these? Elvin, good to see you, old boy. I hope things are well. Ooh, man like Paul came in very quickly there. So which of these is not a secondary storage? Oh, it is B. Look at you. We've got Yi Ching B. We've got Hash Brown Gaming B. We've got Sergen B. We've got Ria B. We've got Jumbo Lizard. Great name. B. Hi, Mathana. He's a B. He's a double B. We've got Swiftblade on a B. We've got Elvin on a B. The whole world, Ashadi, Pixelated, and you're all right. So that is brilliant, okay? So that is RAM, because RAM is primary storage, primary, secondary. They sometimes say primary memory and secondary memory, so just be aware of that, because they vary it sometimes. Here we go. Question 2. Which is a type of magnetic storage? SSD, floppy disk, DVD, or flash drive? Which of these is a magnetic storage? Oh, crumbs. We've got Aditya, who is in like a like a rat up a drain pipe is the saying. I'm not quite sure whether rats can scale drain pipes. Anyway, it's not a very flattering way to describe it. Elvin, we've got a B. Yes, guys, you are absolutely spot on. It is B. So magnetic is floppy disk. And can you remember those floppy disks? It's like a square of plastic with a little bit of magnetic tape inside it on which you can record your files. 3.5 megabytes. That's how big a floppy disk was 3.5 megabytes. 10 minutes left. Let's go to the next question. Here we go. Blu-ray is an example of what? What is Blu-ray an example of? A type of Italian cheese. A Dutch clog. Hi, Alex. How are you? And who else? We had a few here. We had Alex. Hi, Alex. Welcome. And we've got Emad. Hello. I've said hello to Bogdan. And who else have we got in here? Oh, we've got lots of bees while I was jabbering away. It is optical storage. So that's the optical storage. That's the indentations on the face of the disc, and it shines a laser light at it, and it gets reflected back, and that's how it reads it. Okay, so that is outstanding. That is good. Oh, let me give you a have a glockenspiel for that. Glockenspiel. There we go. And even some applause. Hurrah! All a B. Yes, they are all B. Hi, Zainab. How are you? Good to see you. It is B. Muthana, you are a superstar, as Rokib are you. Right, good. That's that one. Boom. Next one is question 4. Secondary storage gets its name because A, it's secondary domain memory. B, it's fast and contains the current used documents. C, it's mostly used in secondary storage. Secondary storage gets its name because... Ooh, crumbs. Aditya is fast. Look at that. We've got Aditya with A. We've got Bogdan with A. We've got Hash Brown Gaming with A. We've got Elvin with A. We've got Emma with A. We've got Yi Ching with A. We've got Henry. Hi, Henry with A. We've got Jumbo with A. We've got Swiftley with A. We've got Rocky. All right. You've made your point. Hi, Ria. It is A. Emily May. Hi. Welcome back. Yeah, it is so A that we're all over it. So let's go on to the next one. There we go. Outstanding. Okay, easy. What does RAM stand for? Really amazing memory. That was Alex in first. Random access memory. Outstanding. That was very, very good. We've got Muthana with A. We've got Rocket with C. Oh, hang on. It is random. Oh, random area memory. Random access memory is the right answer. We've got all the C's here. Hash Brown Gaming, Pixelator, Henry, Rockib, Alex, Ria. Yeah, you're all absolutely spot on. So that is right. It's random access memory. And my head is in the way. Bap. There we are. Random access memory. Okay. Where are we now? Question 6. What does ROM stand for? Easy. What does it stand for, ROM? Come on. Let me give you some congratulations. Have some party noises. There we are. I hope that makes you feel much better about being here. I'm sure it does. Read-only main. Real-only memory. That's a mouthful, isn't it? You've all answered and I can't see now. Yes, B. B. Swift Blade with B. You're all right. It is B. Outstanding. Question 7. What does volatile mean? What does volatile mean? It used to be that certain... Oh, Yi Ching, that was remarkably fast. Data is lost and the power is turned off. So that is what differentiates RAM from ROM, okay? If you switch the power off, everything in RAM gets wiped. Yes, Ashadi. Yes, Rockib. Yes, Jumbo Lizard. Yes, Alex. Yes, Henry. Yes, all of you. Yes, Zainab. Yes, Flynn. That is outstanding. Okay, brilliant. So that was pretty straightforward. Oh, I've only got 5 minutes left and to get a move on. So let's do that one. That's good. What is a disadvantage of virtual memory? Can we go for super quick? I meant to set the timer. God, I'm rubbish. There we go. What is a disadvantage of virtual memory? By the way, that story of how virtual memory works is one that you need to learn. So it's when you use secondary storage as RAM, because the RAM's full. Yes. A. Hello, Bogdan. Hello. Yeah, it is. You're all absolutely spot on. Brilliant. It is A. Oh, let's give you a happy sound. You can have a triangle. I'm sure that has really pleased you all no end. Right. Okay. It is. Right, guess the question. Easy question, this. This again from past papers. Guess the question. Solid state drive. Is there a Q and A after the live stream? If you've got questions you need to ask me after the live stream, I can stay for as long as you like. I mean, it is my daughter's birthday, but you all mean far more to me, and I'm seriously more than happy to stay and answer questions. But I try and do it in half an hour so that you can have an evening. Name secondary storage. Do you know what? That is pretty good. Now, who said that? That was Hash Brown Gaming, and we've got man like Paul types of secondary storage. Yeah. You're all on it, and that's what you need to come up with. So let's have a look at the question as it was. It was so a long, boring story, which was about Kerry and the fact that she's got all sorts of issues, doesn't know anything about computers, and it said give one example of a solid state drive. Okay. Sometimes the stories they give are for no apparent reason. We don't care about Kerry. I don't know why they mentioned her. Yeah, Rocky, you're absolutely spot on. Examples of solid state storage. Look at that, look at that, look at that. You're all superstars. Right, that was easy. This one, and I'm guessing that this, given what we just done, should be okay. I've only got 4 minutes left, so let's get a move on. Oh, let's reset the timer. There we go. Kerry is wasting our life, Aditya. And I don't think that OCR quite understand how little we care about Kerry. And I'm an understanding person, and I've got time for everyone. But Kerry, she just needs to do her research, frankly, and stop asking ridiculous questions. When and why is virtual memory used? That is good. That is good, Aditya. Kerry's wasting our life. How does virtual memory work? Hash Brown, what's the purpose? Yeah, you guys are absolutely on it. I bet they're going to bring... Oh, it's Alicia this time. They've stopped bullying Kerry. It's on to Alicia now. Alicia, really interestingly, is designed a computer using a von Neumann architecture. So the question is, explain how virtual memory can compensate for the lack of RAM in Alicia's computer. So that basically, that is describe how virtual memory works, isn't it? So, yeah, which is exactly what you just said, Flynn. Describe how virtual memory works, which is what it says, except they've packaged it up inside a really boring story for us all. So there we go. Thanks to the exam board for that. Bon. Right then, what about this one? More RAM improves performance of computer. More RAM speeds up access to data. Excessive use of virtual memory, and that's what we've just been talking about, isn't it? Using RAM as virtual memory can cause disk thrashing. Did I call it thrashing earlier? I think I called it something else. Did I call it thrashing? I should have called it thrashing, which decreases performance. VM slower to access than RAM, slower read-write speeds, and it's got further to go, don't forget. And moving data between RAM and VM takes processor time. What do we think, ladies and gentlemen? 4 minutes to go. Advantages and disadvantages of virtual memory. Yeah, that is good, Hash Brown Gaming. That is good. Isn't von Neumann architecture a way of making buildings? No, it was John von Neumann who designed the CPU that we all use today, and that I spoke at length about in the disadvantages and advantages of stuff. I like it. Pros and cons. Yes, pros and cons of virtual memory. That is good. Differences between... Right, so let's go to this and put you out of my misery. Explain it might be beneficial for Alicia to get more RAM instead of relying on virtual memory. Or maybe Alicia should get a life. We don't know. But anyway, that's Alicia, okay? And her various problems, mainly wanting to buy a computer but knowing nothing about them, which I think is completely unacceptable. Anyway, what about this one? I think last one we got a chance to do today. This one goes on forever. Good question. How many marks are there for this question? This is the answer. How many marks for this question? And try and guess the question too. What do we... Yeah, Kerry and Alicia need to get out more, and Asda doesn't count. I think we can safely say that. 6 marks, says Bogdan. Yeah, 4 marks. We're all going for big marks. Do you know what, though? You guys are smart. Yeah, Pixelator, it is 8 marks for this one. So this is one of those, when you see this much stuff in the mark scheme, this means it's a big one. Alex has gone further. It's 1,000 marks. So I think it was actually 8 marks for this one. So we've got robustness, capacity, and of course this list here is one you can go away and use to revise this topic, which is why I've put it here, because that's really what you need to know on the characteristics of all of these different types of secondary storage. Kerry again, because we almost had forgotten about her, but no, she's back in our lives again. She's going to use an optical storage device to transfer her files. Such is the excitement of her life. Discuss whether an optical or solid state device is the most appropriate means to transfer these files. So you've got to riff off those ideas they came up with there, and that's your job. So listen, guys. Yeah, Aditya, that is good. Explain how few friends. No, let's not go there. Right, so let's stop bullying Alicia briefly, although that was quite a lot of fun. To be honest, ooh, revision ideas. I'm going to finish on time. For this topic, I recommend make sure you've got a definition of RAM and ROM written down. What is virtual memory? Why is it necessary? The story. Make sure you can tell the story. Make a table in Word using a table of different characteristics, the good and bad of different secondary storage types. And don't forget that list that you produce so well for that assessment, robustness, capacity, speed, all that sort of stuff. Why is primary and secondary necessary? Revised parallel processing, that was the nasty thing from last week. Find that in last week's video and look at it. Registers. Next week, when I ask you the register question, make sure you know it. And then that retrospective revision planner, just get it going. So I have actually gone 1 minute over. Sir, is the list we have to learn due tomorrow? No. No. This is for next week. Just for the... we draw tables on tables every day. This is very true. So this is our joyous job next week, guys, is we're going to do units and we're going to do data storage. You were pretty good at binary numbers and that addition. There's a guy on YouTube called Youdoober, Youdoober, and his explanation of going from binary to denary and denary to binary into hex is brilliant. So this is what we're going to do next week. The BIOS is stored in the ROM hash brown gaming, and I actually meant to mention that because it's quite interesting. Does anyone know what BIOS stands for? And what BIOS is for? So that's the job next week, and that is the end of our little get together today. So thank you for attending. I will see you in exactly a week's time. I will hang around for a few minutes if you've got any questions. Lifting 2K at the gym. I thought you were lifting 50K a minute ago. That's I think 2K I could manage. 2K, yeah, maybe. BIOS can be used to overclock computers. Ooh, Bogdan, look at you. Yes, they can. So it's in the BIOS that you can change the setting so that you can overclock your computer. Basic input output signal. Ali, biology. No, it's not that. Yes, well, sadly, this is true, but we just need to live with what we're given here. You know, oh, to be a Newcastle United fan at the moment. Big Indian operating system, that could be catchy. So that's what we're doing next week, guys. If anyone's got any questions about anything we've covered today, fire away now, and I'm happy to answer them for a moment or two. But otherwise, guys, I will see you all next week. It's been a pleasure and a joy. I will send this through to you. Anything about CMD and the mocks? The mock, well, Mathana, you can check what's in the mocks. If you have a look on the departmental website. So if you type in Hazelwick CP, I forget the exact address, but if you type in Hazelwick CP, as in the letter C and then P, into Google, I think it's the first hit you get. And click on that, and then you've got revision in the middle somewhere, drop down, and you'll find it there, okay? Just be aware of overclocking your computers, is that if you burn your parents' or carers' houses down, they might like you a little bit less. Just bear that one in mind. Yeah, have a look, Mithana. It's all in there. Break it down and see what you can do. Yeah. Do you know, this had occurred to me as well. I might mention it, but there's a lot of useful stuff on there. So that's that. Guys, have a lovely evening. I don't want to waste your time. Half an hour, same time, same place next week. Great to see you all. So try to cover this before next week, and I'll see you then. Take care, guys. Be good. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.